Hello, good morning, and welcome to After GMS. We just popped up live here on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page, as we do every weekday around 7:45. We appreciate all the familiar faces and some new ones joining us this morning. We have some fun talkers coming up, but first and foremost, Ed, we have to discuss this forecast.
Yes.
We had a second round of winter this past weekend, a little dusting of snow on Saturday. It was enough for us to get out and sled a little bit more,
Yeah,
which
the
was
kids
nice.
were having fun, and the adults were having some fun too.
They were. That was the good kind of snow, the kind that melted, unlike the sleet we had a week prior. This week gives us a little bit of a break as far as precip, but it's going to be really cold later on.
Yeah, by Wednesday, we're going to see another blast of Arctic air across our part of the Piedmont. Let's talk about this morning. We have the unofficial lows across the area, and everybody dropping down into the 20s this morning. Low 25 at Siler City and in Burlington, 26 the low in Greensboro, 27 in Asheboro and Lexington, also 27 the low in Winston-Salem, down to 22 at Martinsville and Danville at 23. 25 over at Reedsville, also in Mount Airy, and 27 the temperature over at Wilkesboro. Just a few scattered clouds. I'd call the morning mostly sunny. Our little disturbance has moved on out, so I think the rest of the day we're going to see plenty of sunshine, and we're at our low right now of 26. The temperature out at PTI, very light to near calm winds. High pressure near Jacksonville, Florida, controlling our weather, will give us a mostly sunny day today. This area of low pressure in Texas is going to track east along the Gulf Coast. May throw a few clouds our way tomorrow, but no rain. And also our Arctic cold front will be moving through tomorrow. It may produce a few extra clouds, but it's not going to produce any rain. Out ahead of the front, southwesterly surface wind and enough sunshine could warm us into the low and even mid-50s coming up tomorrow. But you better soak that warmth up, because behind that Arctic front, you guessed it, another round of cold Arctic air in store for the Piedmont. It'll start to pour in Tuesday night and be with us for the rest of the week, and another reinforcing shot of very cold air comes our way by Friday and the weekend. Let's check it out in a forecast. Mostly sunny and 48 today. Few extra clouds tomorrow, and we'll say low in mid-50s, but look after that. Oh boy, look at Wednesday, mostly sunny and upper 30s, around 40 on Thursday. Next Arctic cold front will move through on Friday. It looks as though it's going to be dry, but you see how after having a high of 44, we'll drop back into those upper 30s by Saturday and low 40s coming up on Sunday.
Whew, that is quite a January forecast.
Yeah, roller coaster ride.
All right, so no snow, no sleet or freezing rain coming down in the Triad today, but chilly air lingers behind all that winter weather we had last week, and expecting those morning lows in the teens by Thursday. So we're asking you here in our first talker, already some great comments coming in. Describe this week's forecast in one word without using the word cold. Already some great ones here. I got some on my Facebook page as well. Mary said chill. Rob says dreaded. Bobby says dry. And Janice says uncomfortable. Here are a few of the texts sent in. This viewer says frigid. Another viewer said brr with a lot of R's and an exclamation mark for emphasis.
Yes.
All right, we're hearing some more here on our feed coming in live. Let's see, Arnita said weird. Angela said finicky. Nanny said disrespectful. Krista said yucky. Margaret said cold, even though not supposed to use the word cold. I know it's hard because it's fitting. Julian said Carolina. That about sums it up. Vicky said spectacular. Clearly she loves winter. We also heard from Barbara, who said frigid. Robin said frightening. Sean said it's hot and muggy wherever he is. I'd like to know where that is, Sean. Nadine said she'll take cold over ice and snow any day. Ed, how would you describe the forecast? I'm sure in your tenure you've come up with a lot of adjectives for cold.
I got a ton of them. But how about ridiculous?
That's a good one.
I know. It can be ridiculous for those of us who like warm weather, but I think frosty. I like the word frosty, and I use that, from time to time in my weather segments when we're talking about very cold air. Yeah. It's frosty in the weather garden.
I like it. Frosty the Snowman would like this forecast
Yeah.
for sure. I would say probably breathtaking, because once you get that wind chill in the mix, no matter how well you're dressed for the cold, it just hits you and it almost makes you gasp, takes your breath away for a couple seconds, because you're like, oh, wow. It's really cold outside today. That's how I felt a little bit this weekend, and it seems like that's how we're going to feel, at least in the early morning hours later this week.
Yeah, and you know, the air can be so cold that when you breathe in, it almost kind of makes your nose tingle a little bit. That's cold.
Yeah, it seems like it's an exceptionally cold January. Yeah. Is that true?
We'll have to look back. I think we're going to average out to be below normal. You know, interestingly enough, we had a really nice and uneventful December.
We did.
With temperatures above normal. But I think for the month of January, we're going to average out probably a little bit below normal. Not significant, but you know, we've had some teens for morning lows. We've had some low 20s. And keep in mind, the coldest part of the season, if you look at the climate aspects of it, is during the first several weeks of January. But that doesn't mean that we're finished with the cold air or anything like that. But you know, our normal low is 30 in the coldest part of the season. So, and we've had many, many days where temperatures were down into the low 20s and even some of those teens as well. So I think overall we're going to average out to be below normal for the month.
And I know you said we've accumulated about 5 inches of snow / sleet overall this year, at least based on our measurement at PTI Airport. We know January is typically our snowiest month, but we've seen some big snowfalls in not only December, but also February.
Oh, yeah. And you know, I tell you what, for those of you, and I know who you are, you've been talking about the I want snow.
Carol.
And, Carol? Yeah. Carol's happy when we get these little snowfalls. But, you know, considering the fact that we're really into the first month or about to finish up the first month of winter, we're doing pretty good in the snow department. There are winters that we don't have any snow at all.
Yeah.
And then there are other winters where we might have 8, 10, 12 inches. So it'll be interesting to see how February plays out. And don't forget March. Biggest snowstorms I've seen in my lifetime in North Carolina have been the first couple of weeks in March.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'll be on maternity leave by that point, so it's all you, Ed.
Yeah, there you go.
So Bobby made a good comment. He said his eyes water when it's very cold. I noticed my eyes, I have a dry eye problem to begin with. They're very, very dry right now because we've had such dry air. It's like there's no moisture in the atmosphere.
Cold, dry air. And that was responsible for making this last snow. I call it a northern snow because that's the kind of snow, and maybe you guys experience that in the Midwest, when the air is so cold and dry, it's just like sand running through your fingers. It's very dry, very powdery, good to sled on, but not so good to build a snowman. You want to be able to pack that snow together to make a snowman.
Well, Cece sums this conversation up. She said, I'm ready for spring.
Amen.
We still have a ways to go before the official start of spring, Ed.
Yes, we do. But I'm with you on that one. Ready for some warm weather.
Yes. All right. Thanks for joining us on this first talker. This was a fun one. We have some morning headlines and then we have something else to talk about next. So let's get to these first. Right now, officers are investigating after someone fired several shots into 2 apartment units and a car. High Point police say this happened last night just before midnight at Avondale Apartments off of West Wendover Avenue. No one was hurt, thankfully, but the suspect is still on the run. Anyone with information should leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. This morning, thousands of Guilford County High School students will begin a 3rd week finding alternate rides to school. The district announced Friday it would continue suspending normal school buses for 8 high schools due to an ongoing driver shortage strained by COVID-19 related absences. The district partnered with the city of Greensboro for free rides on city buses and limited shuttle services as well in High Point 2. Other students will walk or catch rides to class. It's unclear how long the suspension of these bus services will continue. Guilford County schools will reopen certain COVID testing sites today. The clinics at Andrews and Grimsley High Schools were closed all last week due to weather. The testing sites are open to everyone, not just students and employees. We posted the hours of operation on our website, WFMYnews2.com. You can begin filing your taxes today. Oh yes, but expect delays. An IRS worker shortage coupled with pandemic-related changes are part of the significant backlog. In fact, the agency is still processing 2020 returns. The fastest way to get a refund is to file electronically and set up direct deposit. The IRS says most people who do get a refund do so within 21 days. The tax filing deadline is a little later this year, April 18th. Earlier on the Good Morning Show, we asked if you file your tax return as soon as possible or if you wait closer to the deadline. We got some responses here. Christine says she files as early as possible. This viewer says early. All right, on to our next conversation. Going to make you a little bit hungry. Today is a day to celebrate an American staple, almost as classic as the hot dog. It is National Peanut Butter Day.
Oh my goodness.
There's a day for everything. This one's a good one, I think. We're asking you, are you team creamy or team crunchy? And what flavor jelly or preserves or something else do you like on your PBJ? I posed the question on my Facebook page, have several responses. Debbie said creamy with grape jelly, strawberry preserves, and peach preserves. Apple jelly too. Any of those are delicious. Margaret said creamy with grape or strawberry jelly or with bananas. Marilyn said she likes both with grape jam. Yum, yum, yum. It's funny, I bring a peanut butter and jelly for lunch almost every day. It's so well known in the newsroom. I have my PBJ, my pretzels, my water. I'm good to go. Usually eat it around 8 a.m. after we wrap up after GMS. But I've always been team crunchy. In fact, extra crunchy. There is such a thing as extra crunchy peanut butter. And I've always loved that. I just like the texture. It just feels more filling than the creamy. It doesn't get stuck in your throat as easily either. Gotta have the real preserves though. I don't like the jelly. I like the real classic fruit preserves. Raspberry is my favorite.
Oh, I bet so. I bet raspberries.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is a very special day for me, and I wasn't aware until we started talking about it that it was National Peanut Butter Day, because I am a huge fan of peanut butter. I don't make PBJs or anything like that. I just eat it out of the jar. How crazy is that? Just like spooning ice cream, man. I tell you what, I love that. But somebody mentioned with a banana. Now, I'll tell you, peanut butter on a banana is some good stuff. You put a little chocolate syrup on with that. Ooh, it is so, so good. Love my peanut butter. You know, if somebody gave me a jar of crunchy, I wouldn't turn it down.
Right.
But I'm in the creamy camp.
Do you ever toast the bread? That makes it extra good.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But I'll have to try that.
Yeah, and you know a little trick my mom used to do? You put the peanut butter on both sides of the bread, not just one, because then it holds the jelly or preserves in better and it doesn't leak all over the place.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but this is kind of sparking the interest again. Yeah. And I might have to go home and make one.
I'm telling you, it's a go-to for lunch for me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're getting some comments in here. Deborah said team creamy with strawberry jam. Bobby said team creamy with bananas. Sandra said creamy with strawberry jelly. Who's on Team Crunchy? Oh, Walter, you are. Thank you, Walter. Team Crunchy all the way. Jean said Team Creamy. Shirley said creamy. Sometimes she has honey on it. Heard a few honey comments. But she said she can eat it by itself as well. Paige is creamy. Walter agrees with you, Ed. Lloyd agrees with me. Crunchy all day with grape jelly. Janet said creamy Jif only. And Tracy's also with you, Ed, eating it out of the jar.
Yeah, just like a dish of ice cream. Big scoops. Big scoops. I could eat a whole jar.
So apparently liking peanut butter is hereditary. I have a picture I can show you.
Oh.
This is my son, Christian. My mom was babysitting him one day last week, and she fed him some peanut butter crackers for lunch with some other stuff, of course, and he got it all in his hair. Like, his hair is coated in peanut butter. That's why it's sticking up so much. He thinks it's hilarious. Meanwhile, he had to get a bath before his nap, and it was all over the floor, but he enjoyed it. Of course, with toddlers, you got to go with the creamy because they can get the nuts stuck in their throat. I got to pulverize nuts if he's going to eat them. He also doesn't like them anyway. So, but he enjoys a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich too.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, obviously you're raising him right, because you're letting him have creamy peanut butter. He's going to grow up and love peanut butter.
Well, there are a lot of peanut allergies, and so actually
Yeah.
pediatricians do recommend the earlier you can start. Of course, sometimes you can't prevent it, but
Right.
the earlier you can start at least offering some kind of nuts, especially peanuts, the better.
Yeah.
Chances they have to avoid that kind of allergy or grow out of it sooner. So we tried to do that, and he loves it.
Yeah, it looks like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, so Joanne said creamy please with grape jam on wheat bread. Only half of a sandwich though. And then Robin said honey peanut butter. There are some good peanut butter alternatives, especially, several classrooms have a ban on peanut butter because there's a student in the class with peanut related allergies. So parents have to find an alternative. There's almond butter. I think there's honey butter. So many different alternatives that are safe for everybody.
I'll have to say, now I like the almond butter as well. I love almonds. I love raw almonds. I
Yeah.
can eat those all day as well. But the almond butter is really pretty good. But I take the regular peanut butter over anything.
Yeah, nothing like it.
Gosh, I want some peanut butter right now.
Well, let's get you some. We got a
Yeah.
final forecast first. So get to it, Ed.
All right, let's get to it so we can all go out and buy a jar of peanut butter. How does that sound? Hey, how about some nice weather today and tomorrow? A little warm up for those of us who are ready for it. But it's not going to last long. We'll be in the upper 40s today, mostly sunny. With the approach of the Arctic cold front, we'll see some extra clouds tomorrow, but we're going to stay dry. Temperature is low. Maybe enough sunshine gets us into the mid-50s tomorrow. And then look what happens to the temperatures behind the Arctic front. We'll drop, we'll see highs on Wednesday, I think in the upper 30s, near 40 on Thursday. Warmest day after tomorrow, relatively speaking, will be Friday at 44, out ahead of another Arctic cold front that's going to chill us down for the weekend. You can see on Saturday, upper 30s and lower 40s coming up on Sunday. And some of these mornings, we'll see temperatures around 18 or 19. Get ready. More cold air on the way.
Yeah, a viewer pointed out it's so cold waiting at the bus stop this morning.
I bet.
Yeah, important day to bundle up the kids, and not only the heavy jackets, but also the hat, gloves, scarf. Going to take everything this week.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. We hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same place. For now, get out there, get to it. Let's make it a great week.
Let's do it.